Hello, hello, welcome in everybody. So today we're going to do a reading from your angel guides. So you can see this as archangels, in the angelic realm, or even your own guardian angels. So to start the reading, we'll shuffle these and we'll get 3 piles picked out. Okay, this one's calling. Quite excited to do this reading. It took me a long time to think of the reading that we're going to do. Normally they come through during the day or even sometimes like a week ago, and then it'll pop back up and I'll know where to go. But I did like a little connection with my guides and I was like, I'm not getting anything. What kind of reading should we do? And it just showed me a whole bunch of white light and I guess like a stereotypical how we would see a fantastical version of heaven. And I was like, okay, let's get a message from the angelic realm. Okay. All right, this one and this one. All right, so let's take a look at the cards. So for pile number 1, you have the goddess Persephone and Ruby with the inner queen. There is your card. For pile number 2, you have the goddess Tara and Tibetan Quartz, her eye ever open. All right. And for pile 3, you have Ascended Master Yogananda with Rhodonite, Empowered Service. So what I'll do is I'll leave these 3 piles here. Pick whichever one's calling to you, or ones that are calling to you. And down below, you'll be able to jump straight into your reading, but I'll give you some moment with some clarity and yeah, I'll see you in your video. Hello, hello everybody. Welcome to your reading pile number 1. You've chosen Goddess Persephone and Ruby with the Inner Queen. Such a very regal, royal looking card, right? And Ruby kind of has that old fashioned style gem, like an old timey kind. It just reminds me of like royalty, kings, queens, and their scepters and their crowns. Just a lot of color, you know, emeralds, rubies. It feels like a time before now, like very like a different era, that kind of thing. So that's what's coming through. Also kings and queens, although there are still kings and queens around now, it's very different to what it was before, right? The caste system has diminished or at least reduced in most countries. There is still kings and queens, however they don't have the kind of like full power, let's say, that they may have had back in the day. This is talking about your inner queen anyway, you know, depending on, or actually I don't believe it's like depending on whether you're male or female. It's this inner strength, and you can see that in a masculine or feminine form. It doesn't matter too much. It's an interesting one because there's lots of stories about Persephone, right? Taken from the upper ground into the underworld by Hades, doted on by Hades, loved, and then also a time where 1 month, or no, was it a quarter? No, not 1/4, 1/3 of the year, I believe she was taken back. She had to spend some time in the underworld, I guess, because she ate a pomegranate seed in the underworld, and there was some rule. You know how there's always these little rules with the gods and mythological tales and stuff like that. So that kind of translated into, because she was a goddess of the harvest. There was, I wouldn't say famine, But it's like the dry season. So in summer in Greece, they would have a season where it was pretty much barren until autumn came along, and then they could start sowing seeds again. So it was that time of dry weather, or no food, let's say, or no food was growing back in the day. So that's really how the story comes through, which is very direct, right? This is a message from your angels. It just feels very literal, taking the message from the card. Normally there's like, oh, this is probably going to mean this means this, but it feels like inner world, and it's really talking to like very Seven of Pentacles type reading. I feel it's going to come through of what you sow is what you'll harvest in future. Reap what you sow. If you treat yourself well, you'll be treated well by others. Reap what you sow. Like, it keeps coming back to reap what you sow, you know, that kind of thing. So we'll see how this comes through, but we'll get your cards before I get too into the reading. I feel like the angelics are just very direct today, which is fine. They can be direct. All right, message for Power 1, please. I really do like the cards that are coming through. As always, I was very drawn to the angelic type cards that I do have, the decks that I do have. And ones with also ascended masters, that kind of thing. Okay, we've got two here. And just put that one up there. If there's a little bit of shine, I'll try to move the cards around. A couple of angels want to come through. Alright, so this one here is also a tarot, but has archangels attached to it, or the energy of. So we'll see what comes through. I can get one more. Yeah, that's one. I'm gonna take these three. I'm gonna squeeze this up here. Oh, that one, yeah. All right. All right, they fit nicely. Okay, so let's take a look at your reading, pile number 1. So you also have Green Tara with Supreme Protection. Interesting, because Tara came through in pile 2, so there might be a message in there for you if you were also humming and hawing about pile 2. Supreme Protection, you are protected, cords are being cut, move beyond limitations, trust. Yeah, this is really honing into your inner world. Like, you know, we're talking about inner queen, but we're really talking about serious, like seriously. We're not talking about like, you know, sassy attitude, you know, that kind of thing. We're really talking about what makes you you. And this cord's being cut, maybe cut from like old negative feelings, like looking in the mirror and being angry at yourself, because when you have bad feelings about your mind, your intelligence, your looks, that kind of thing, it's all self-deprecating thoughts, and it's all attacks on yourself. So this could be really touching into that, but it really is to build up into this, like, you know, knowing who you are, knowing what your value is, knowing your worth, and not letting the past dictate your present or future. Wow, they're so formal today. All right, you've also got Sariel coming through. Sariel's really dark here. As you can see, this does talk about the dark night of the soul in a sense too. So this is why this is coming through at the moment. It's so you either go through the dark night to to clear some stuff. You don't go in there to be like, oh yeah, dark night, you know what I mean? It's just like certain things will happen and in certain ways, and you know, some people can go move through things very quickly and some don't, and it's not about judging that. It's just about doing it in the way, or taking the growth opportunity with two hands, and you know, really dedicating some time to working on these things that are holding you down or holding you back, because you deserve to be treated well. But you have to start with yourself. Do you treat yourself well? Because if you treat yourself poorly, you're going to attract someone that probably treats you know in that same way. So you can see it within yourself, but you don't need to go through something painful or struggling. All right. You also have Zafkiel with meditation, Eye of God. Third eye is open. Really nice here. Yeah, this is a soft message, but it is talking about something that your angelic guides just really want you to focus on or listen to. And maybe you've already been through this dark night. If you didn't learn anything, you know, you're probably going to repeat it. So make sure you reflect on these things. Take some time and go within to see what do you need to look at now within yourself, or what kind of questions should you be asking. Does that make sense? No, hang on. There's something there. What kind of questions should you be asking? They're kind of questioning the way I'm wording it. What are the right questions to ask in this moment? Because the answers are all within you. Trust the answers within you. That's how it's kind of coming through. And meditation is good for that. Meditation can be done anyway. There is this way, you know, sitting in lotus position, let's say, but there's also lying down, there's also going for a walk, there's also walking in nature is kind of coming through, but like hiking even, you know, it doesn't have to be one particular way. It's got to be what's right for you. But really, it's about questions like what's going through your mind? What kind of things are popping up? What things come up that you feel or you perceive as negative, and then ask, why is that coming up? What is it trying to tell me? Because those are the questions that will help you find the answers that you're looking for. But it does take dedication and time. There's no like, you know, what is this about? And your mind's like, brr, and then, you know, you're not getting the answers and you're like, well, I don't know then. And it's like, yeah, give it some time, give it some space, give yourself a rest period, give yourself a break. Zafkiel again, interesting, courage. Yeah, what you perceive as your weaknesses are very well your strengths. Especially if it comes to relationships, finance, that kind of thing, it's really coming through. But it's really strength of character. This is all, we're talking about a lot of the external, but you're really being pulled in to focus on the internal. Your external will follow with your internal is cleared or motivated, enhanced, lightened, those kind of words are popping up. Also Saturn popping up a lot. Not too sure about Saturn myself, but if you want to look that up in your own chart, got a line here, maybe it's in regards to Leo, who knows. But there might be something coming through that's like the Saturn in your chart may need to be looked at, or may want to be looked at, and just like remind you of like where you're going, who you are, that kind of thing. Because this is all about confidence and trust and self, and courage is about taking those leaps. So interesting cards coming through here. Just know though, again, coming here, you are protected through this. You're not going to do anything that's going to take you off task, blow up life. There's none of that. None of that is happening here. Normally I would say, you know, unless you choose to, but this is not the time or place that would be a relevant or a possibility. Is how it's coming through. So formal. It feels so formal. Anyway, let's take a look at well, I'm going to start with these ones actually. So your tarot, you've got the Two of Cups. This is where I was getting the relationship connection. It's almost like a relationship between yourself too. You build up a good bond with yourself and who you are, and know who you are and what you stand for. And you'll be able to find the connections you're looking for. It does say down here, falling in love or a resurgence of a romantic relationship. So if you are in a connection, it could be this speaking truth, standing tall, because these are in the center, right? This courage and this Two of Cups. like standing tall and speaking truth. Like that's just how it's coming through. All right, yeah, again, Ace of Cups. Beautiful emotional experience. This could be an level up in your own connection with self and connection with others, because this, while it's talking about inner queen, it really does feel like it's because the external has been where the focus has been instead of the internal. Or the internal has been focused, but it's mainly based off the internal. Something like that. It's like, well, if I do this, I'll get that. And it's like, yeah, but do you honestly want to work on these things within ourselves, or cut these cords, or remove this old negative energy that we still hold on to? You're not helping anyone by holding on to the past. Besides, the only one you're hurting is really yourself. The other person or the other people or the other thing that you're trying to, that you may have anger towards, it's not doing anything to them. It's really only limiting you or harming you in some way. So you don't want that. You don't want that old. That's why this is now where the old king and queen type energy comes through. It may be like a divorce or something like that, or maybe seeing like parents go through hardship or challenges, or even, you know, loss of or something like that. And you know, all those feelings of fear, especially if we can still have anger towards a certain parent for passing, right? For whatever reason, we might be just angry about the whole situation, or feeling abandoned or left or something like that. It's time to really look inside and start deciding how you want to move through this, because it'll come through and our guides generally will poke us, push us, especially these are the angelic guides, right? So they're coming from a higher perspective. They see the path forward and where it can go. So they wouldn't come through if they were like, well, we don't know how it's going to go, but they're really like, well, you know, if you work on these things, you'll get to the points where you can feel peace, happiness, whatever you're looking for, self-confidence, that kind of thing. Got the Hermit as well. I like that with the Inner Queen, because this feels like the last card that probably should have been turned. But it's interesting with Virgo as well, because we just had the Virgo moon, the Virgo full moon. That's if you're watching this more when this gets published, was a couple of days ago. However, the energy still feels relevant. Also, Raziel coming through. We've got Sariel, Raphael, Haniel, and on this card, Raziel. So a lot of arcs coming through as well with messages. You know, you're meant to really enjoy and feel good about life and good about your connections, relationships, and your connection with yourself as well. So all this is really to help encourage you to, you know, get to those points where you'll be feeling those feelings you want to feel. You've got the Page of Pentacles. Interesting. Like when I was talking about, you know, you plant the seeds now. You don't have to do everything now, but if you start working on small things, start acknowledging things within ourselves, start going, yeah, this was a situation that was really shit. You know, it might have been like an argument with an ex, or a horrible person at school, or whatever it is, you know, or like a loss of a pet, you know, whatever it is, it's not limited by anything. It's really acknowledgement. And then how do you feel about it? Did I enjoy the time with this? Like, can I turn this around and be happy about not them necessarily passing, but the time we got together, or the lessons at least I learned and I will never repeat, you know, all that kind of stuff, all those things. There may be even a sign of, I'm not getting this fully, but like maybe like cutting cords, because the cord's been cut here. It's like cutting cords with like those old feelings, even if it's not specifically attached to one person, it might be to many people. It's just like letting it go, freeing yourself, cutting off the old weight that you don't need anymore, because it might be manifesting for you as physical things like gaining weight, or a poor attitude towards certain types of people, genders, whatever. You know, it's again not limited to anything, but you don't want to have a physical manifestation as like a pain or a sore back, or like you know, stomach issues or whatever it manifests as. there is definitely a path forward. This is how it's coming through. Yeah, something painful for sure with the Three of Swords coming through. Definitely. It's one thing to say, oh, I've already worked through that, and still have those feelings of negativity towards either that person or what that person represents. Sometimes we mentally might be over it or like have processed it, but our body is still holding on to it. That's when I would be like, there might be some kind of holistic people, or you might be able to talk to people at your religious community or whatever like that to help release it, because this does feel like very physical, and I keep talking about the body and that coming through, so it may be manifesting in that way. So you might have actually processed it mentally and be like, but I'm fine, you know, I'm fine. It's just something there, that's all. This is, I don't want you to dig into something that you don't want to, so don't. If you don't feel like that's right, always take all readings with a grain of salt. I'm just reading to the cards and what's coming through. So, you know, if there is something that's painful that you either do or don't want to, or you feel you've gone through, but you're getting some kind of manifestation of a physical ailment, you know, there might be something with that. So just think about it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's definite moving forward. This is where the horses do come into play and feel like that tug of war almost, like where what's right and what's wrong. I would say with this one, you know, they're still heading in the same direction, so they may as well cooperate. Your light aspects, your shadow aspects are heading in the direction that you decide, right? You're the, I guess, controller or commander of your body, or the ship that you're moving, which is your body, your vessel. So while they're always going to have these negative feelings or something will pop up, it's not about whether it pops up at all. It's about how you move through it and how you interact with those aspects. Same with the light. Sometimes we ignore those. People give us compliments and we'll be like almost offended. Like, you know, we'll push it straight back. This is about letting, like, giving and receiving. So this is like letting energy flow through and progress as well, mainly with this one coming through with progress. You're able to make the progress that you've already made and continue that progression. It doesn't feel super quick. But it doesn't feel slow. So it doesn't feel like you're going through a dark night, but it's like, you know, to avoid this, you can start making the progress step by step, or however you want to do it. So you've got boundaries. This is really actually where it's all coming from. I didn't even mention it, but boundaries is a perfect way of explaining it, because it's understanding where our boundaries are and what are ones that are so like pushed to the side that if anyone even looks at it and just says something tiny to us, we stomp on it, right? Or where our boundaries and we just let people flow through without even mentioning that that they have crossed a boundary or something. And people don't always know. They can't read your mind, especially like relationship and partners, right? They don't know unless you speak to them and have a conversation. But it says here, put a ring around yourself and your energies. The ring is not about protection because you fear of something coming through. It's really about just not being so either open or blocked off from connections and other people's energies. You know, finding a way to balance what's coming in and what's leaving. It's just all about balance rather than seeing it as like a defense mechanism that you have to do. Excuse me. So, where would I start first? This is all about you and getting yourself into a place where you feel comfortable, confident, helpful, happy, successful, fulfilled. What can you do to work through anything that may be challenging, let's say, from the past, present? Really does feel like the past, but this is an open reading. You know, consider what's happening. Give yourself the time to let your feelings and thoughts flow through you, so that you don't leave them all up to the end of the day, or you ignore them by going on your phone. like really give yourself 5 minutes, 10 minutes to feel how you feel. Listen to the comments that are going around in your head, or the advice or the questions. And then start to ask your own questions. Because you're meant to have a life that has no like pain and struggle, I would say. There's always going to be situations where we lose people, where things don't work out, that kind of thing. But it shouldn't be the pain and struggle that it sticks with you for the rest of your life, right? This is something that occurs then, you process it, however long that takes, but working on it even slowly is progression. It's better than locking it away in a closet and pretending it's not there. So interesting. But if, yeah, like I said, with the physical manifestation, if that's also happening with you, that might be a sign to have a look within ourselves and see what's happening with our body and where we're going, and are we shifting in the right direction. But I do want to say, especially with Tara's third eye and this third eye, you are seeing a lot, or like, I feel like you're already aware on some level of what this may be about. But with Tara coming through, and I know that Tara came through in the second pile, feel free to check that out. But this is exactly what I see with all these cards coming through anyway. Of course, if you have any questions, you can contact me or just leave a comment, and I'll have a look at the reading and come back to you. But you're meant to feel exactly what you want to feel, you know. You're worthy of the romantic connections, the deep friendships, the loving connections with either other people, because that's available to you and to be had. Some of the past stuff may need to be cut off now. Like it's done its time, it's done its course, you've learnt its lessons. You don't need to hold on to any of the, let's say, baggage. Give yourself again some time. It says here, time spent in peaceful meditation. You got the meditation card, so it really is banging down, like banging on the door with the same message, right? This is known to you, and I feel like in some way you can see that. All right, that's what I have for you. So hopefully you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, Part 1. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, welcome to your reading, Part 2. So you've chosen Goddess Tara with the Tibetan Quartz. I was just reading up about Tara. I've always seen her depicted more with separate colors, meaning different things. However, this one was interesting, and I like that the Tibetan Quartz came up, because that was also what I pulled from, you know, the good old internet. Really does touch on Goddess Tara being like the mother of the Buddhas, or all Buddhas that came through. Universal protection, compassion, that kind of thing. So this message here is, her eye ever open? So it really does feel like you are safe, you know. It's interesting with her eye ever open, it's like almost like one eye watching out for danger or something. And that might have been fine and back in the day when there were like, you know, things going to eat us. But it feels like you know you're safe. You've got to a position where you're safe. You're not going to lose what you've already got. So don't be afraid of letting that energy come in and go out. But we'll see what your message is from your angel guides, the angelic realm, or your guardian angels. I like this one wants to come through as well. I'm gonna push these over a bit. They're chunky cards. Oh yeah, this one. I'm going to start with these cards, and then we'll get into the tarot. So you've got Diana with focused intention. It says here, think about what you desire, set your sights high, expect the best possible outcome. Interesting with the eye of open, it's like very keen sight, right? Very specific or visionary. There's something coming through with that. You have like an eye for whatever you do in work, or like for detail. There's something unique and special with that, this message coming through. And it's really like, because there's something unique and special that you need to focus on at the moment, something to highlight, something within you. I know I keep saying something, but I'm, just pulling 2 cards. I need to keep going. All right, you also have Raphael with self-esteem. Yeah, this is like trust. This is all very trusting. Look at Raphael with his little hearts in a mirror. That's pretty cute. It's like an angel mirror. Kind of reminds me of something from Sailor Moon, honestly. All right, and you've also got Camiel with alchemy. This is like divine alchemy. So we're highlighting sorry, Mars. I was trying to say the sun. But we're trying to highlight, well, we've got what's highlighted at the moment is the sun and Mars. And with the sun and Mars, it feels like, success mixed with like passion. And so this is something definitely with, like, I already touched on work. It's something that wants to come through or is already in your capable hands, and you just need to take that step. So this is definitely about giving you the confidence and trust in yourself to like push forward. There is like a slight second message coming through of, if you were also drawn to pile 1, maybe check that out after this reading. If you're drawn to it, it's up to you. There's no like you must. It's more like for maybe 1 or 2 people. All right. Yeah, more passion coming through. You've got Uriel. Uriel is the light. It was always seen to me as like the passion, the light. He's really good at his job. He does what he needs to do. He'll help support those who need it, and give them courage and drive. So this is feeling very fiery. Also, even with Camiel coming through, it looks like he's got like this fiery sword. Kind of looks like a lightsaber type thing, poking up into the sun, I guess. The interesting thing with this as well, it's called alchemy, and it is about a blending. So I'm not too sure how that's coming through yet, but I do feel like almost cooking, like the fire, and then we mix the ingredients and we create something delicious. When if we had them all separate, they would taste fine by themselves, but together you can make something better. So I don't know if that's talking about a community or even utilizing your skills in, let's say, the artwork you do with your office job, right? There's something there that can be blended together, or maybe other people. But I'm not getting too much with that one. All right, really beautiful cards coming through. I do want to read Uriel too, so hopefully I don't forget. Okay. Actually, I might put these down here because they're chunkier cards. Whoop, okay, this one flew out, so we'll grab that. Since they're leaping. So we'll pay extra attention to this last card as well. Okay. Oh yeah, I think I can pull this up here. All right, let's take a look at the tarot cards. So you've got the 9 of Cups. Oh, this feels really good. The passion, like I'm getting passion and direction and light here with Uriel, like that just burning desire. And 9 of Cups, even though it's water, it's like, how you boil water. It's just, I don't know why it keeps coming back to cooking, but it's just like this idea of creating or like blending something together to make something better or something more amazing. This is like an opportunity as well. It could be, this could all be just like metaphor for being given an opportunity to take a new job somewhere else, but you're like, oh, but I'm so secure here and it's safe. are you enjoying it? Do you like it? Is this something that is actually calling to you? Do you keep getting nudged towards this? Take it, have a look at it. Maybe it's not the job itself that'll give you what you need for happiness. It's the time that you don't have to work. So it might be like a part-time role. And if you can afford to balance that, because everything's about balance, but you're given more time to just enjoy life as with family or friends or whatever, go forward with that. Okay. You also have the Ten of Pentacles. What was I talking about with family? This is about what's best for you and what's best for others. So you don't have to feel like you've got this is almost feeling like the eye have opened. It's like there's a worry that you might lose something or something might get taken away. This is saying nothing's been taken away. You're being only offered like work, or offered an opportunity, or offered a gift or a doorway towards something, or a gift that will help you towards a goal. It's all here to be taken, it feels. So where's your focus at the moment, and does it need shifting, or does it need, is this a confirmation reading where you have already done all the work to be given this opportunity? Now it's up to you to take it. Yeah, we got the World card. Nice. So this one's the one that leapt out. So really nice cards coming through. Look at that. 9 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, and the World card. So we have Uriel again. Look, this little U down here is Uriel and Uriel. And we've got Jophiel and Jophiel, the angel of beauty and wisdom. So really she does talk about seeing the silver lining in some of the challenges, but seeing also the beauty in life, like stopping and smelling the roses, the flowers, just stopping and looking. I've done that when I went outside one day. I stopped and I was like just doing something out there, and I just started looking at the plants, and then I could see like some of the bugs that were on there, the caterpillars, the butterflies flying around, and I'm like, I just take some of this stuff for granted because I'm just, doing my human thing and not focusing on what's actually around me at this moment. I'm just working or looking towards something or heading in a direction without taking a moment to just stop and take in the environment. So that's what this one's really about. It says a brilliant success. You've done probably most of the work. This is just like the benefits of it. And sometimes this happens. We get the benefits of it, but we don't take it. So make sure you take it, if it feels right for you. The self-esteem, while it is talking to like building that up, it's also talking to, you've done the hard yards already. This is the learnings, the growth, and then taking those opportunities moving forward, whatever that is for you. But it says here, freedom to do whatever you want. Be proud of yourself. Yes. Yeah, you've put in a lot of effort and work. You've worked hard to get to where you are. You shouldn't have to keep one eye out based off old learnings and old fears. All right, so you've got the 6 of Swords. Oh, this kind of feels like traveling in a sense. I know it's kind of like a darker kind of shadowy looking card, but this also could be the traverse that you've already made from what was or who you were to who you are now. There's no shame, there's no fear, there's no need to hold on to any of that. So the 6 of Swords is showing that mental shift, but also that physical shift potentially as well, from something that was difficult, some old challenges as well. 3 of Swords popping up here. All right, and yeah, it's so interesting. It's almost like the way it's coming through is like, here's the benefit. You've done the hard yards, and now it's time to be recognized and see yourself and make sure that others see you too. It's interesting because while we can't change people's mind, we can show people how like vibrant and radiant they are by living vibrant and radiant within ourselves. That's really coming through. Spotlight's on you. Spotlight should be on you. Look after yourself and own your wins as well. Recognize some of the mistakes that are also made, right? Or the challenges that went through. But you don't have to hold on to it or judge it. It's now time to to let your light shine, I want to say. Wow, this is really, really big, right? Self-esteem, alchemy, you're blending in, now the alchemy is coming through. You blended in some of the challenges you've been through to, you know, process and get through. Now you're getting what you need or what you deserve, I want to say. I want to read Uriel as well, number 6. This is salvation. It says here, let go of anger and unforgiveness, and let my flame of love illuminate your heart. I can help free you from emotional pain. If you do not know the right words to say, call upon me and I'll speak through your heart. So salvation kind of feels like liberation as well. Now there might be people involved in that, but remember you also chose that as well. You chose to free yourself. You chose to get out of the old situations. So really now, what do you want to do with that newfound freedom? Do you want to take those opportunities, get those dreams and those goals? Because those are there for you to start working on and work towards, or even just take now if that's there. Taking's probably not the best way of saying it, but allow yourself to receive that energy as well. Yeah, here we go. From chaos comes calm, new beginnings. Absolutely, this is what we've been talking about this whole time. New beginnings. No longer are you, stuck in the past. You've moved into this opportunity. You've really worked your way up to this. So take it. Take it. Like that's how it's feeling. It's like take it. Oh, that's what your angel guides are like. Just take it. You've earned it. Stop doubting it. It's all here for you. But overall, it does feel like this is a fun reading as well. Like you've worked hard to get to here. You've processed some of the stuff that you've been going through, or you've processed enough of the stuff that you needed to. Now start to live life with the benefits of doing all that hard work because you've done it. So well done. Take a break, take some travel time as well if you need to go, or if you want to go visit family, visit friends, go on a holiday, whatever it is. Like it's all very much up to you. I think that's it. They're very much like done. Yeah, not giving me anything else, so I'm just going to leave that there. Well, if you have any questions, feel free to comment. Otherwise, thank you so much for letting me read for you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, welcome to your reading part number 3. So you've chosen Ascended Master Yogananda, more of a modern Ascended Master, right? Someone who's passed, can't remember, like maybe like 100 years ago. And Rhodonite with Empowered Service. So very angelic card to come through. Empowered Service, of course they would choose that. If you don't know Yogananda, he does have, I think it's called Memoirs of a Yogi. And that is his like book, his kind of like story, let's say. But in a very like short version of the story, he came from India over to the West, to America, and brought in yoga. And this was like, I think it was like either during World War I or between World War I and World War II. So it was like a very like not a time for that kind of stuff, right? Like there weren't soccer moms going to drop off the kids and then go to the yoga classes. It wasn't like that. It was where there was like none of that kind of stuff. None of that stuff was there. So it's just an interesting card to come through with this angelic message, but also what an interesting character, right? Spreading this form of healing, really, and exercise, you could even say, at like the more basic form, but like spiritual practice to the West when it was something that was very different. And he would have gone there with his whole like, Indian clothes, get up. This was before the internet, so there wasn't a lot of research, right? That kind of stuff. So he just would have stood out. He would have really stood out. But yeah, he obviously followed his calling. So really interesting character. And while I don't think you have to like go somewhere and teach something specifically like he did, there's definitely that energy of how can I support or help the people in my life and around me? What can I do? I do like that it's also empowered service. So this isn't just like doing something for the sake of doing something. This is really like, has that oomph energy, let's say. gonna grab this one as well. Oh, no, not those ones, this one. Okay, that was interesting. I grabbed them and I was like, these ones? I'm like, nope. All right. Yeah, I think we'll start with your cards. So remember, this is a message from your angel guides, the angelic realm, whatever you want to call it, but really that energy of pure love and support. So you've got Mercury with open communication. This says, get a weight off your chest, speak up with love and be heard. Interesting, open communication. This is like speaking truth and saying it with conviction, right? Saying it from the heart. It's an interesting one because it kind of reminds me what's popping up is like people who speak their truth, right? Whether that's their culture or their family, like that kind of thing. So they might be LGBT or something like that, and they're speaking their truth. And you know, while they're not teaching other people, but by doing that, it flows through the collective and helps others. But also, people see that or hear about it, and it's like, wow, they said that, but weren't they also like very, you know, religious or whatever kind of ideals that, you know, weren't really in line with what this person was saying. And sometimes that motivates people or helps people because they're not the first one that breaks the seal or goes through the door. This is someone else has done it, so why can't I, right? It's that kind of mentality that helps motivate people. So yeah, it's an interesting one, and it really just comes back to speaking truth. What are you here for? What's calling you anyway? What kind of things are calling you? So you've got Zafkiel with understanding and Saturn. That's really interesting. She's got her hand on her heart right here. This is about following your calling. Like it's almost like you're being called to do something. This could be in regards to work, it could be in regards to charity work, or it could be even in regards to starting to do something or say something, right? Or communicate something. Not too sure. But this understanding isn't about judgment, it's about really taking into consideration the situation, the people, and coming from a place of love, but also being heard and speaking your truth. It's a tough one. But you can speak your truth without attacking, right? Or demanding anything. You just speak it and be done with it. And this is what it is. You also have Sophia. Yeah, this is love and compassion. And even here, she's holding her... what is she holding? Oh, she's holding a skull. I was like, she's holding a heart. But that's an interesting one for like Sophia coming through. Kind of like also taps into the image of Mother Mary, Shekinah, many different feminine energies, right? Many different higher energies. But I will probably read this one in a minute. It's like caring, compassion, birthing, though. You can still love someone even if they don't agree with you, right? You can still have your opinion without making someone, like forcing them to believe it or follow it. You just speak your truth, and if people don't align with it, they don't align with it. You don't have to do anything. You just hope that they are supportive, even if they don't understand. If they're trying to understand, that's, you know, give that kudos too. All right, and you also have Salathiel. That's an interesting one. I have not pulled this one before, but again, this heart is coming through from like, it's coming out of the incense burner. I'm not sure what this is. Kind of looks Tibetan. Yeah, it does, because of these little flag things. That does look, and way out in the mountains. What is that? Oh, I didn't even see that. I thought that was a mountain. This is like a snow leopard, or... I was looking through the camera instead of just looking at the card. Wow, it's really interesting. All right. I'll have a read of that one too, because I can't really see too much of what this is. But it does feel like someone who's mastered a skill. You've probably been here many, many times, maybe to this planet, maybe others. But you're here to share something, and it's coming to the time where it's like, you know, it's about ready to pop. She's about ready to give birth. You're about ready to give birth to this. Interesting. Yeah, you're about to speak your truth. Okay, so let's see what else to pile 3 need here. Whoa. Yeah. All right. You're getting energy of like, let's go. Not rushing energy, but like that kind of like motivational, you know, someone's like, let's go kind of thing. It's just like you're being pumped up by your angelic guides. They feel a little bit more chill. The first pile, they were not chill. They felt very serious. But this pile, I feel like they chill with you. A little bit more chill anyway for angels. Okay, so let's take a look. So you've got the 10 of Pentacles, really lovely here with this card. This energy of family. And again, another pregnant woman. If you're pregnant, that's wild. Or if you're looking for a family, or like not looking for a family, but you know what I mean, like wanting to expand your family already. I want to read this one now because I think when I pulled that, they were like, now go to this, and I'm like, okay. 38. So we'll have a look at Sophia. Also, if you don't know Sophia, it is that divine feminine energy. It is talking about unconditional love. I love that the understanding and unconditional love, and they're both. These feminine figures have both got their hands near their heart, even if she is holding a skull, which is interesting. But yeah, so this one is talking about, you know, it's another name which you can associate with Isis, with Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, Sophia. Like all these kind of energies are that divine feminine. I'm going to read the message of the card though. It says here, do not fear the depths of your emotion, nor the heights of your exuberance. Humanity is undergoing a shift. Find your inner sanctuary as your emotions deepen and soar. So you're going through the shift and change, obviously, along with everybody. You're here to share something or maybe say something. It doesn't have to be like this big grand sacrifice type situation. It's really about speaking truth or talking towards this or taking action on something. Talking the talk, walking the walk, whatever. But it's not about, you know, radiating that out and saying to people, look, everybody, what I'm doing. It's more like going forward and doing it. All right, let's have a read of Salathiel. I honestly do not pull this card much. She hardly ever comes through. But this is saying devotion, and I love that devotion is with the 10 of Pentacles, so it could be about family, it could be about your chosen family, it could be about, you know, just having a comfortable and safe existence or life. All right, so devotion, Lathiel, this is your whole existence is sacred, absolutely. Let your heart lead you. Devotion comes in many different shapes and forms. Even walking barefoot on grass can be a form of prayer. Bare feet on the ground is great to ground your energy. Also to help like aches and pains and stuff. And how and why? Probably because you're reaching back and touching into the earth element, back to nature, getting back to like roots. But also you're giving yourself time to let your emotions come through, you let your thoughts come through, let your feelings come through instead of doing, and avoiding stopping and just sitting and being. All right, let's take a look at the rest of these cards. So you've got the 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's absolutely a balance. It's a balance of the physical world with the spiritual world, your astral side with your human side. There's no one's better than the other. This is if one was better than the other, and let's say you think, oh yeah, my higher self, that's better than who I am, then you wouldn't have incarnated, right? They would have been like, well, then we'll stay here and do all the work. No, you're here to do something. You're here to say something. You're here to be. You also have the Lovers cards. Interesting. So the Archangels coming through with this deck is Jophiel, Zadkiel, and Raphael. This one's an interesting one. So it says, embrace true love and deep, intimate friendships. Make choices from the heart, vibrant health or recovery from illness. That's why I was like, aches and pains, bare feet on the ground really might help you. Like, you know, getting back with a comfortable, I don't know if it's like comfortable life, but I feel like secure. You know, you already have security of certain things, I feel. So what can you do to support and help others? But what are you interested in as well? Even if it's like something completely different, like if you were, I'm going to flip the table here. If you're born in like a very, I don't know, what is it, spiritual family, let's say, but you wanted to do something that's very Catholic, or like be a priest or something like that, or a nun, you know, something like that, and you're really called to do that, you know, go forward with it, speak your truth and go forward with that. And vice versa, right? If you're called to like do some kind of yoga or something like that, but you're born in a very Catholic structured society situation, you know, go forward with it. You've got the ability to do this, I feel. This is all here. It doesn't have to be done without, what am I trying to say? There's no pressure here. This is all about compassion. That's all that really is coming through with that. Okay. So we've got the Four of Cups. Yeah, if you're not really getting the, if you're not really feeling the passion towards what you're doing, then it doesn't mean you change and shift out, but there is an opportunity to actually get some color into your life, right? To get some vibrancy. You came here for a purpose. You know, if you don't do it here, you'll do it somewhere else, or you'll do it in the next life. Like it's going to get done eventually. So, you know, it's kind of like, well, you may as well do it now. You may as well do what you need to do. Ace of Wands, nice. And Strength card. I do like this, because I feel like you do have a huge amount of compassion, compassionate energy. And there's like a hobby or something that you can do that really supports people. Maybe it is like reading cards or something like that, right? That, you know, reading cards is done through many different readers, especially on YouTube, which is fantastic, and different types of reading, different messages and ways of reading and all that kind of stuff. So there's always a message out there for someone, and maybe this reading for you, you've taken like maybe even 20% of it that really resonates and the rest doesn't. That's absolutely fine. It's not about taking everything and then going, oh, okay, this reading said I had to do this. It's really like, how can I integrate this message into my experience, and what is it really trying to tell me with what's coming through in my mind? Because that's really how you can move forward with this. And it's, this empowered service is really about something that sparks passion, sparks vibe. And you can see the passion here is in her third eye. So it does feel like it's this, it's almost like a spiritual thing, but it doesn't have to be. It just feels that way. But the section in the center where everything's coming from is the Ten of Pentacles, touching on finances, family, stability, security, and devotion. So it's like, if I've got enough, I don't need to worry about losing it. I've already got what I need. What can I do to support and help others who are aspects of me, right? Because we're all kind of like, I mean, depending on what you believe, but we all come from the same source. We're all different variations and versions of that, expressions of that source. So really all these people around us are expressions of us in a way. We're an individual here and individuated from source at the moment, but really we're all kind of like part of a collective. We're all humans, we're all whatever. Even if we're not humans, right? We're all on Earth. Okay. For breakthrough, you've got, for the star to be born, first collapse. Oh, sorry, that did not come out right. For a star to be born, it must first collapse. This is not your destruction, this is your birth. And again, talking about birth, I don't know what that's popping up with, but maybe there is some kind of like thing that you've been putting energy into and now it's time to let it out. An art piece, something that is going to inspire and help others. The way we do service is the way that feels right to us. It's not about, oh, to do service, I must volunteer, or to do this, I must do this. You know, you'll see groups of people like that and they have, you know, sometimes where the energy is like kind of misguided, I would say, is when there's like groups of people wanting to help, but they really have an agenda. They want to speak about this or that, or like you should be doing this, or telling people what to do, rather than just being there and supporting and listening. They want to say, to just tell. This is about listening, understanding, and speaking. It's a balance. It's a balance game of like shadow, light, good, bad, whatever. It's a balancing game. But make sure you're giving yourself some time to yourself, for yourself, and for others. Interesting. I think that's it. Let's see if there's anything else they want to bring through. It's interesting with her carrying so much stuff, like a flower, a skull, and a cup or jug. I'm not sure. But there's something with that. It's like holding on to a lot of things. You don't have to like hold on to the things you've got. You've got it. You won't lose it. But you can start to bring in more feelings of like fulfillment, because the physical things can be fulfilling for a time, but they're ultimately not going to be the thing that fulfills us. It's the challenges we overcome. It's the love that we bring into our house. It's the enjoyment of travel, or you know, picking up a new skill, all that kind of stuff. Whatever's we're really called to. Someone may never pick up like an artistic skill, but that's maybe because that's not part of their soul contracts, right? That's not part of their growth. Their growth is more suited to science or something. You know, it's really not to be judged. It's all to be understood and expressed. That's really how it feels. Okay, well, that is exactly what I've got. So hopefully this helped you, pile number 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading.